Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is Mark Roden, and in today's video, we are going to be going over the top 15 best classic muscle cars. I've been kind of getting into the classic muscle car phase recently, dude. I don't know, I like them. I don't think I ever would spend my money on them just because they're like $150,000 for a good one, but they are really cool. They just have that certain charm to them that every other generation of car just doesn't really manage to grab, I feel like. So today I'm going to go over my top 15 favorites of them. If you are really into classic muscle cars, I greatly appreciate any of your input below, because or insight, I guess, is a better way of wording it. But yeah, just because I'm always looking to learn more about the classic muscle cars, since I'm still like a newbie when it comes to these things, but they're really cool in my opinion. Either way, movie of the day is actually not a movie, it's a TV show, and it's Stranger Things. Of course, the new season came out, season 5. I haven't watched it yet. I'm still on season 3, and I'm watching through that. But the show is incredible. The show is absolutely incredible in every way. It's so good. That guy Hopper, GOAT, the best character in the show by far. If anybody says anything else, they are simply wrong. So without further ado, let's get right into it with number 15. I mean, my intros are they're just miraculous. It truly is just like the shortest intros in YouTube history, so I don't care anyways. No more yapping on this channel on the intros. Either way, 15th place is going to be going to the Chevy Camaro SS second generation, specifically the pre-facelift of the second generation. But yeah, the facelift, I'm not a big fan of the facelift second gens, but the second gen pre-facelifts are absolutely gorgeous cars. These are the cars that Bumblebee was, or this is the car that Bumblebee was, I should say, in the original Transformers, and ever since then I knew I loved the second gen Camaros. Now, spoiler alert, I don't love them as much as I love the first gen Camaros, but they are a close second in terms of the Camaro lineup there. They're just absolutely gorgeous in every way, and my uncle has one. Not yellow and black like Bumblebee, but he does have one, and it's very cool. Coming in at 14th place is admittedly one that I don't know much about. To be honest, I don't know much about most of these cars because, again, I'm not a big classic muscle car guy. But this one in particular, I don't know much about. The Oldsmobile 442 Cutlass, or whatever it's called. Beautiful car. Let's just get that right out of the way. It's a beautiful car, but I'm pretty sure Oldsmobile has gone under at this point. They are a bankrupt company. They don't make cars anymore. As a matter of fact, I'm like 99% sure that happened. And it's unfortunate because, again, they made some nice ones. Now, this is the only one that I put on my list, but there are definitely some other nice Oldsmobiles I've seen out there. This one in particular just kind of sticks out as easily Oldsmobile's most famous, well-known muscle car, and for good reason. It kind of looks like a Chevelle, or like a mix of like a Chevelle and a GTO, if that makes any sense. Coming in at 13th place is one that is completely different from any other car on this list, both in the sense that its brand is completely different. There's no other cars from this brand, but also just the way it looks. The AMC Javelin AMX. This thing looks, like I said, completely different from any other muscle car out there. It's got this really weird, sporty, sports car look to it, while also still being a very obvious muscle car. It's definitely an acquired taste, though, I would say. I feel like an AMC Javelin is one of those muscle cars where you could easily be like, I don't like that, and it would make sense. I do like it, though. I think it's an absolutely beautiful. I mean, I love the very, very narrow front end with the wider, more thick rear end there, the thick hips with the thick thighs, and in the front that's just nice and thin. It's just gosh darn perfect. Coming in at 12th place, however, ladies and gentlemen, it is going to be going to the 1970 Dodge Challenger RT, or the first generation of the Dodge Challenger. Nowadays, modern Challengers get a little bit of a bad rep in the car community, but they're still really cool cars. They're still absolutely sick muscle cars. But unfortunately, there's just nothing that can hold up to the original, man. The original Challenger, it would be perfect. It would be a lot higher on my list if it wasn't for another car, and that's why that car is going to be up higher on my list. But the original ones, wow, they're good. They're also just back in the day, man, American muscle cars nailed colors. Yeah, BMW and Porsche do pretty good nowadays with their colors, and their colors are pretty cool, but there's just nothing like the colors back in the day. Plum Crazy, that, what was it, Grabber Blue, or whatever it was called, I forget what it was called, but then that orange one too, the Hot Rod Orange or whatever, they just had some insane colors back in the day. Coming in at 11th place is a two-parter, because, well, I'll explain in a second. The Chevy Chevelle SS and the Chevy Nova SS. Now, these cars are both different cars. They are different in their own regards, but they're both equally as popular. I think the Chevelle is probably the more popular option amongst car enthusiasts, but I have to include both of them here because my two dogs, I got two boxer dogs at 2 years old. They're girls. They're beautiful dogs, beautiful brindle boxers. great boxers, so adorable. But they're named after these cars. One of them is Chevelle, and the other one is Nova. And I got to give credit where credit is due to both of them. Both these cars are incredible. Even if my dogs weren't named after these cars, I would put them somewhere on this list. You kind of have to. Like, the Chevelle and the Nova are just iconic Chevrolet muscle cars. And the best part about this, the Nova is one of those cars that you can't get like a perfect pristine condition SS, but you can get like a relatively beat up Nova for still relatively cheap compared to what everything else is on this list. Coming in at 10th place, however, also kind of has that AMC Javelin look to it, but I've always loved this one, but I like this one a little bit more than the Javelin. I think the Javelin went a little bit overboard with like the curves and the design on it, but the 1971 Plymouth GTX I don't think went overboard. I think they did a perfect blend of that slanted front nose, like the thin front nose with the more rounded off, like bubbly, I guess you could say, rear end. And I think the GTX does it a little bit better than the AMC Javelin, but they both have that same design. I'm not a Dodge guy. As a matter of fact, modern cars, I think Chevy's my favorite of the three, but I'm definitely, when it comes to the classic ones, I'm definitely a Dodge fan, because I love how the Plymouths and the Dodges have, the headlights are like sunken into the front of the car. I love that. The headlights look so aggressive. Coming in at 9th place, however, another car where its headlights are hidden, but not in the same sense that like Dodge did it, because again, Dodge like sunk them into the bumper, but this is the Mercury Cougar, and the Mercury Cougar has hidden headlights, but in a different sense. They are a little bit into the bumper, but more importantly, when they're turned off, there's like a whole grate over it, and it just looks like part of the grill. I understand that like it's illegal now to do that, I guess for safety reasons or something, but gosh darn it, I would pay money for car companies to be allowed to do that again. Imagine how cool they could make cars if they could do hidden headlights. Oh my lord, it would look insane. Because look at the Mercury Cougar, dude. This thing looks beautiful in the front. Now, the reason I don't really care too much for the rest of the car, if I'm being honest. I don't really care for the rear end, and the rest of the car itself just kind of looks like a regular old like shape and design, you know? There's something really special about it. But that front end is just sick. But you know what car does hidden headlights even better than the Mercury Cougar? I feel like this is just the hidden headlights list. Almost every car so far. Let me actually look at them. I think every car, the Chevelle didn't actually, so. Oh, and the Challenger didn't. Oh, and the Javelin. Oh, and the Oldsmobile. Oh, and the second gen Camaro, actually. Oh, and the Plymouth GTX. Okay, the Mercury Cougar was the only car with hidden headlights so far. Either way, 8th place is the Dodge Charger RT 1969. This one also has hidden headlights, but I do it even better than the Mercury Cougar, because the grille is black. The Mercury Cougar's grille is like a chrome color, and that's still cool. It's still really cool, like grille and hidden headlight combo. But the Chargers, I mean, it literally, when you look at a 69 Charger with the headlights closed from the front end, it literally looks like there's nothing there. It's just this big black rectangle of nothingness, and it is so aggressive and so gorgeous in every single way. I like the new Chargers. I like the wide body new Chargers. They're beautiful cars, but they will never be able to replicate the original 69 Chargers. And there's no Daytona on this list or no Superbird on this list, but those are also very iconic cars that should be mentioned. Coming in at 7th place, however, oh, speaking of Daytonas, by the way, have you seen what they did to my boy? Have you seen the modern Daytonas, the modern Dodge Charger Daytonas? They're EVs, guys, that make audio noises of an exhaust since they don't have an exhaust. That is a disappointment. It actually makes me sad thinking about that car. Either way, 7th place is the 1969 Pontiac GTO, the Judge. It's just iconic. The Pontiac GTO, the Pontiac in general is just iconic from back in the day. I'm so sad to see this car brand die, but the GTO, the Judge, is probably one of their most popular cars. There is one Pontiac I put higher, but I do think this is probably the most iconic classic Pontiac. Coming in at 6th place, this one's like definitely the most modern of this entire list. Like every other car on this list so far has been like either a 60s or early 70s car, but this is an 80s car, the Buick Grand National GNX, the first production car, I want to say, to be able to reach 200 miles per hour. Because I think it was the Charger Daytona did it, but it was only the NASCAR version, wasn't the production version. And then the Ferrari F40 did it too, but I want to say that was after the GNX came out. I can't really remember, but I know it did some crazy thing for its time. Either way, it reached 200 miles an hour, and that is miraculous for a car that is this. I mean, look at the thing. It's a box. It doesn't look like it has very good aerodynamics whatsoever, and it doesn't have very good aerodynamics whatsoever. And on top of all that, every other car on this list has a V8. This car has a twin turbo V6. Like, it's such an interesting car. The GNX is such a cool car. I've seen them in person. They can only come in black. They look so boring, like at first, but then like you see under the hood, and it is just a beast. I don't know why I was saying the Buick GNX could reach 200 miles per hour there, by the way. I don't know what came over me. I think I've been watching Stranger Things. I think Vecna there took over my body. I apologize for that. Either way, coming in at 5th place is going to be going to the Plymouth Hemi-Cuda. Remember earlier when we were talking about how the Dodge Challenger would be higher if it wasn't for one other car? This is that other car. The Plymouth Hemi-Cuda, for those who don't know, is pretty much just a rebadged Challenger. It's like the Firebird to the Camaro, or I don't know what the like Mercury or Lincoln equivalent of the Mustang would be. I don't know if they ever came out with one of those, but you get what I'm saying. It's just like another version of another car, but even better. I mean, the Plymouth Hemi-Cuda is just so sexy in every single way. I don't know how they managed to make the 70 Challenger even more sexy, but they did. It is insane to me how they managed to do that. The color combos of like that, whatever, purple, orange, whatever, green, but then it has that nice little like black flag thing on the quarter panel there is just perfect. And coming in at 4th place here is going to be a bit of a hot take, I think. I think a lot of the classic muscle car community will be like, whoa, that car does not deserve to be that high. But it is my favorite, and this is my list, and so that's why I put it this high. I didn't put it 1st place to please you guys, but in my opinion, it's the best. The 1970 Dodge Coronet Super B, specifically for the looks, and that's it. That is only the reason why it's up here. I don't know anything about this car. It could have an inline 4 making 20 horsepower, and I wouldn't know. I don't care, because the car is beautiful. That's all I care about, is how beautiful this car is. I love when cars or motorcycles or whatever have their headlights like this, where they're like slanted and aggressive like that. It literally makes the car look like a B. They nailed that design for a Super B. The front end of this car looks like a Hornet. Another vehicle that looks like this, the 2012 R1s. I love that design where the headlights are like slanted like that, and it makes it look literally like a wasp or something. It is sexy. The 70 Coronet Super B is a dream car of mine, and I cannot believe I'm saying that, because 5 years ago me would never have wanted the muscle car ever. 3rd place. Here you go, Ford boys. As y'all mother truckers know, I'm not a big Ford guy. I've been raised by my dad, who was a Chevy guy. I've always loved Chevys. I've always been told I've always called them Rustangs instead of Mustangs, because that's my dad. But I'll give credit where credit is due, man. I'm not biased. 3rd place is the Ford Mustang Boss 429. It deserves it. It deserves it. There needs to be at least one Mustang on the classic muscle cars list, and this is the one I think is easily the best. First of all, it just, in terms of looks alone, I can't even argue it, man. Beautiful car. Beautiful, beautiful car. It doesn't really look like their competition either. Like, a lot of muscle cars back then were boxy, you know, and the Mustang Boss 429 is like one of the first muscle cars that really went for that curved design, I feel like, and they nailed it. They absolutely nailed it. The rear louvers on the window was perfect. The little spoiler this car has is perfect, and then the performance to back it all up was also there. Was it as good as the Chevy big blocks, or honestly even the Mopars at the time? I don't think so, just because they're not really talked about that much. They're not really built up for drag racing or anything, but they were still an amazing car. And coming in at 2nd place, it gets the spot because it's the granddaddy. In my opinion, it is the start of the muscle car craze, the 1965 Pontiac GTO. Now, you could argue that this muscle cars became a thing even earlier than that, with cars like the Bel Air back in the 50s, which actually should have made this list, by the way. So I apologize. Yeah, I put the Bel Air in here somewhere. I put it as an honorable mention, I guess. I don't have it on my list, but that car probably should have made the list. But yeah, you could, or even like the Impalas back then, like the 59 Impalas or whatever, or the Continentals. Like, there are a lot of other classic muscle cars that came before this, but I think this is the one that really put muscle cars on the map. I personally think the 65 GTO is like the start of the muscle car craze, the late 60s, early 70s muscle car craze that was almost unmatched in terms of automotive history. Like, these cars back then, like, I get that, like, a lot of car guys nowadays like to bash on them because they were heavy, and they were heavy, don't get me wrong, and their suspension was bouncy, and they were not track monsters, but they weren't going for track monsters. Like, American car brands didn't care about the track performance at the time. They built the GT40 for that, and look what happened. But they wanted nothing but straight line performance, and these classic muscle cars had over 400 horsepower in certain situations. That's insane. Like, compare that to modern cars today, and some sports cars still don't have that much. Honorable mention though, because I don't know if you would classify it as a muscle car. I personally classify these cars as muscle and supercars. Like, they're kind of a combo of the both, but the Chevy Corvettes, specifically the C2, the split window C2, is iconic. I think it's just because people love how it looks, that reason why they like the split window so much, but there's no denying its performance either. Corvette has and always will be an absolute top dog in the motorsports world. They're just absolutely incredible. Every generation, they break records. Every time they come out, they're insane. And that was the same thing with the C2. Arguably, the C1 was kind of a poor launch for the Corvette line, if I'm being honest. I believe at the time, they still were only running inline 6s in the cars, and they were kind of getting beat every time they went into any sort of racing. The C2 is what really put Corvette's name on the map. It is super iconic, deserves this list, but I know some people might not consider it a muscle car, so that's why it's getting the honorable mention. But first place. You guys heard me say I was a Chevy boy at heart, and so you should have known it was going to come, man. You should have known it was going to happen. I mentioned it earlier when talking about the second-gen Camaro, but first place is a Chevy Camaro ZL1 1969, the first generation of the Chevrolet Camaro. This is my dad's overall all-time dream car. He has like 50 Matchbox cars of this car, a bunch of pictures on the wall of this car. He wants nothing more in life than a 69 ZL1 Camaro. Well, actually, he wants an RSSS, but either way, he wants a 69 Camaro, and I can't blame him. They are truly beautiful cars. They are just so simply perfect. The performance is obviously also just through the roof, and since it is a first-gen Camaro, and in my opinion the Camaro is my favorite muscle car line of all time, you got to give credit where credit is due. I think they came out freaking swinging, and they've never matched the performance and just all-time legendariness of the first-generation Camaro with the Camaro. And that's saying something, because I think every generation of the Camaro is cool. Yes, even the third and fourth generations are cool cars, in my opinion. And this is easily still the best one. But, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of today's video of the top 15 best classic muscle cars, in my opinion. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribe to the channel for more content just like this. Let me know what other videos you'd like to see in the comment section down below. Check the links in the description for any of my other social medias or any of my other YouTube channels or any of that great mumbo jumbo. And I will be leaving a comment down below. It's a pinned comment called Giggity Plays. It's a new channel where I will be uploading gameplay videos. Right now I'm playing through Dying Light, but I wanted to play through more story games because I've been playing games for a while, but never really played a lot of the story games, so I always felt like out of the loop whenever anybody was talking about like, oh, Red Dead Redemption 2 is a great game, Dying Light, which is what we're playing now, is a great game, Far Cry, and I was like, oh, well, never played it. I only played like Call of Duty or racing games, so I wanted to try some new story games, so I decided to make that channel, and it helps with my yapping, as you guys can tell too. I mean, look at the freaking intro of today's video, man. It was like a minute long. Usually I yap for like 2 minutes in the intros, and I get like 5 comments down below of people being like, man, can this guy just get to the point already? Like, I clicked on the video for the top 15 best muscle cars, and here I am listening about his experience with Stranger Things. Like, I know I still did that a little bit in today's video, but I did a lot better than I usually do, so I've been working on it for sure, and it's actually working. It's either the YouTube channel that's helping me, or the fact that I've been working out too, guys. Look at these guns. Uh-oh, I might get demonetized after showing that, because those are illegal firearms on my arms right there. Jeez Louise, I gotta watch out. No, but in all seriousness, I have been working out for like 6 days now, and I'm already noticing like mental clarity, if that makes any sense. Like, I'm definitely like getting better. Like, I used to have such a foggy mind. I've always kind of have, and I probably always will, just because I have ADHD and I refuse to take medication for it because I hate medication. No hate to anybody that takes medication for any sort of mental health issues, whatever's. Hey man, whatever works for you, do it, you know what I mean? There's no shame in that whatsoever, but I just don't like it. I don't like how it changes my brain, I don't like how I feel on it, so I don't take medication for it. Now, I'm literally like trauma dumping on you guys right now, but I don't care. So I was like, man, I gotta get rid of this brain fog that I have all the time, and my stomach always hurts, like my stomach's always hurting all the time. That's why I'm so skinny. You guys obviously can tell that I'm a skinny boy. It's the reason why I don't eat a lot, because I can't eat a lot, because my stomach's constantly in pain, and it's been that way since like 2nd grade. And so I was like, what can I do, man? Like, I know it's in my head because I'll have years where it's perfectly fine and there's nothing wrong with me and I feel perfectly fine every day, and then there's years where I feel sick again, and it's just like, it's annoying. And I was like, man, you sit in a basement all day making YouTube videos, playing video games, like not going outside, not getting sunlight, not exercising, not moving around a lot. Let's lock that down. And so I started working out 6 days ago. Was like, oh hey, okay, don't expect to see any improvements in terms of my like mental clarity or whatever for months, you know. And by the way, I want to make this clear before I keep going on with this. Anybody's gonna like worry or whatever, no need to worry, guys. I'm not like depressed, okay? I just have like a little like anxiety or whatever. But yeah, I was like, okay, so let's lock in on this. It's gonna take a couple months before you start to see any like improvements in terms of mental health or whatever. No, dude, it's been 6 days and I'm already feeling like better. Like, I'm not like perfect, you know, I'm not like super motivated, super happy all the time. That was another thing. I was super irritable really quickly. I would like get so mad, like if somebody left a comment that was like a hate comment. But back in the day, I used to just be like, oh, this guy's an idiot, and just kept on going with my day. But now I always I would respond to them and be all like you get all like mad at him too, and I was just like, I was just getting all irritable, whatever. And I'm starting to notice already, like, that stuff is going down. That stuff is all going down, and it's like all it took was some exercise, you know. And so today, actually, after I've done filming this, I'm gonna work out my abs. It's ab day for me. On my rest days, I do my abs just because it's like 20 minutes. So I'm gonna do that after this, which I'm really not looking forward to in the slightest bit at all. But I'm gonna do it anyways. And dude, it's just working. So I don't know why I'm talking about this. This is my yapping problem. It's a 4-minute long outro, but it's the outro. I don't care. But yeah, I don't know, man. If anybody's out there like thinks like they're struggling with like mental health or whatever, I guess I don't know. Like check yourself. I guess, you know. Do you work out enough? Because so far it's looking like that's all it took for me was to just start working out, and maybe that's all you need to do. Maybe just check that out with yourself. I don't know. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Das Vidania, and have a nice night. Sorry for yapping about like trauma dumping stuff. I'm fine. Don't worry about me.